Welcome back to the Red Ones Go Faster. I'm old Big Mek. It's not October anymore, and this is so not a video I wanted to make, but here we are. There's no clickbait here. I'm just going to lead right off into it. If you're watching this, I am probably underneath the knife right now having surgery again. Yeah. All right. Let's get into it. Sorry guys, no wah today. I just don't have it in me. For those of you that haven't been following or don't know what's going on, back in Orctober, I think it was about the 6th day, I fell while running with one of the grots outside and I shattered my radius in my non-dominant hand. Now, that's a pretty big deal, and I ended up in the ER for like 6 hours. Took a couple weeks for insurance and approvals and regular doctors and all that stuff, but got surgery on it, and they installed a plate in my wrist to captivate everything, and I had a big old cast on. Last week, they took the cast off, gave me this little brace, said, something doesn't look right in the x-ray, did a CT scan, and it's not good news. So basically, to get pseudo-medical, but in a layman's term, like how they explained it to me, your wrist, where all the bones come together, it makes a cup. And there's one part of the cup that's called the critical corner. And without it, your whole hand and wrist kind of fall away. They kind of like go like this. And they don't work anymore. It's really, really bad. It's like the worst thing possible to happen. Well, the critical corner in my wrist was busted free of everything else and it did not stay in place. So what they have to do is go into surgery again. They're going to cut all this open again. I got a big gnarly T-scar right here. And they're going to take the plate out. They're going to capture the critical corner on its own. They're going to like pin it, and then they have like specialized hardware for it. Then put a plate back on here. I don't know if they're using the same plate or doing an all new plate. I think they're going to decide that when they get in there and see like whether or not the hardware in the critical corner interferes with it. But the other thing is they can probably get away with a smaller plate here because they're also going to cut me open on the top. So they're basically going to cut me like here and here. And yeah, like that far. And they're going to put a dorsal plate in. And the dorsal plate is going to fully immobilize my wrist. So I will not be able to do this like at all with this wrist. It will be completely immobilized internally with that dorsal plate. I don't know for sure whether or not I'm going to have a cast or not, or just the splint thingy. We'll see. And then if I do have a cast, I don't know how long it will be on. But the dorsal plate stays in there for 2 full months. That's right. It's going to be 2026 before I even see this arm again, let alone use it. And then what they're going to do is I'm going to have a third surgery. They're going to take out the dorsal plate and potentially the front plate too, depending on what everything looks like. And then I'll have usage of my wrist again, and I'm supposed to engage in physical therapy right away because at that point it will have been 3 months since everything broke. You start to get muscle atrophy and loss of sensation and dexterity, mobility, and all that stuff. So it's going to be a really long, hard ride for old Big Mek here. And at the end of it, I'm going to look like a scar boy. I'm going to have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to have 5 different scars on this arm. And yeah, potentially titanium plates and pins and screws and all sorts of crazy stuff. Then I got to get my bones to heal. So suffice it to say, all of my plans for Orctober went out the window. All of my plans for the channel went out the window. And here I am. I'm also going to be on and off of work for the full 2 months. Now, I am very grateful and thankful and lucky that I do have work and that my work does have like paid time off, but realities of realities, that paid time off is not your full pay. And obviously there are a lot of bills associated with this, even with having medical insurance. So things are going to be very rough, personally through all of that. So I've been kind of really relying on the channel, and you guys have been absolutely amazing. So back when it happened, you guys really dug in, watching whatever little videos I was able to put out in Orctober. We did manage to get through a couple of good ones. We did push through a every kit is an orc kit there at the end. I built that right after getting this, already knowing that I wasn't supposed to be using my wrist because the only reason it's not in a cast is so they could do the CT scan. But yeah, just kind of did what I could, put that together. Really wanted to end Orctober with a positive note. But you guys were awesome. A bunch of you actually sent me clips, and we put together 2 entire episodes in Orctober that were 100% you guys doing old Big Mek stuff, showing off your armies, talking about kit bashes and even how-tos. They were fantastic. Love it. And yeah, so Orctober is what it was, and we started off fantastic. The first 6 videos were out of the park. Views were amazing, you know, all that stuff. Growing the channel, because that's the whole point of Orctober, is to bring the news of the WA to everybody, right? Get them to come watch this channel, which is about everything 40K, not just Orcs. But, you know, we tend to have a lot of fun in Orctober, and that just didn't happen. So, yeah. All right, so where are we going from there? What does this mean? Well, first of all, I need your help again. Everybody that actually did something in Orctober with your orc armies, we didn't run a contest or anything this year, but what I would like for you to do is, if you don't mind, take a little video clip just with your cell phone, doesn't have to be anything fancy, of all the stuff that you built or painted or converted or did in October. You don't even have to talk on it if you don't want to, but if you do want to, say you know who you are, what you did, throw together that clip and email it to me, oldbigmek@gmail.com. Just send it to me. And what I'm going to do is the day after tomorrow, so it'll be Wednesday, while I'm recovering from the surgery. I'm not going to want to be on camera or anything like that. But last surgery, that's when I did the clip shows. So I was able to edit those together while I was coming in and out of things. So I'm going to be able to do that again. So I want to do a really big Orctober celebration video of all of you and everything that you guys got done and how much bigger we made the WA throughout the galaxy this Orctober, because I think that'll be really positive. It'll help lift my spirits and help celebrate you guys. So yeah, that is my #1 concern right now. So if you guys could get in on that, get those to me. You got about a day and a half, maybe 2 days, depending on when this goes out. To get those clips to me. Again, it doesn't have to be anything long, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, just, you know, if you painted a squad, or a guy, or, you know, 1,000 points, whatever, it doesn't matter. Or just build things. Maybe you just build things. That's totally cool too. Throw up what you did, put it all up, you know, on a little table or something, take a nice little video of it, and I'll add it to the clip show. I'll put everyone's screen names and stuff on there. It'll be a really, really fun time, and it'll cheer old Big Mek up. I love seeing armies in progress. You guys know that. Okay, as far as after that goes, well, suffice it to say, I'm going to have a really hard time painting. Now, I do paint with this hand, but again, those of you that have been watching Orctober know, when you're painting minis, you end up using your non-dominant hand a lot to manipulate the model and what you're working on. And it's just been almost impossible to do ever since I broke my wrist. I have been able to shift to painting some vehicles and some terrain, so I'm definitely going to keep focusing, especially on the terrain, because I do actually have quite a bit of terrain, and the terrain is a lot easier to paint than the vehicles, because the vehicles, even though the vehicle itself is big, they tend to have lots of little pieces on them that you still have to manipulate like that. So like I've been trying to work on this battle wagon, and I can't get the little man turrets and things like that done because I can't hold on to them. So I'm going to focus on the terrain. But with a lack of projects to paint and a lack of kit bashing, which is what this channel is mainly about, right, is the kit bashing, whether it's orky or not, you can't really build a whole lot with the one hand. So content is going to be light for the rest of the year, and that's really bad for the channel. For those of you guys that don't know about YouTube backend stuff, YouTube like decides what channels grow and which ones don't using the algorithm, and it uses the algorithm based on people returning to watch similar things. So when we put out a video on a kit bash, if that video does well, the next time we put out a video on a kit bash, it suggests that to all those same people and everybody else that watched videos that were similar to that. And it's okay to make different videos about different things, but it sends your channel different places. The problem is if you don't do something in enough time, you fall off of that. So if I don't do a painting video for 2 months, the next time I do a painting video, it's not going to recommend it to anybody. If I don't do a kit bashing video for 2 months, the next time I do one, it's not going to recommend it to anybody. So I need to do the best that I can to keep relevant content coming forward throughout these next 2 months in order to do that. So expect a kit bashing video, but it's going to be terrain. Expect some painting videos, but it's going to be terrain. Nothing wrong with that, though. We've been planning on it. In fact, we might even do a whole terrain week or something like that with it, because I do have some legit really cool terrain that we were going to do in Orctober. You guys saw the Necromunda hive complex thing that we bought to turn into more Orc Fort, and then all the little gubbins that go around with it. Plus, I still have a second half of an Octarius kit that's already built that just needs to be painted. So, yeah, we actually do have quite a legitimate amount of terrain to work on. So, I think we're okay there. I also do have a couple of exciting videos. I've done a couple of major trades this month. So basically, in Orctober, once all this happened, the Grotz and I kind of went through my collection a whole bunch, and I decided to sell off a whole lot of projects that I just wasn't working on, wasn't going to finish, just wasn't enthused about anymore, and turn that over into projects that I am going to do. But I was able to do a couple of trades with people, and I have 2 giant boxes. I mean, huge, so big I cannot physically pick them up to show you on the camera. But I've got 2 giant boxes that came in today. I have opened them both. They're not going to be like totally unknown. I just wanted to make sure they weren't damaged. We got what we got, but I haven't dug through them, and they both have a lot of stuff in them. So one of them, I'm trying to decide if I should even tell you, but I think I should tell you, because I do need to get you guys hyped for videos and to support the channel. One of them is full of Gorka Morka forts from the game, the actual cardboard ones that are like put together like Necromunda, plus a bunch of other stuff from that era, as far as like rules and campaigns and cardboard cutouts and terrain and things like that. Coincidentally, the other box is full of models, and all of those models are metal and old plastic from Gorka Morka era. So we've got 2 really, really awesome unboxings to go through. And I mean huge, properly huge. We're talking, there's got to be dozens, if not into the 100 pieces in each box of what these trades were. So we've got a lot of stuff to unbox. So we will definitely have fun with that. And I think that some old Hammer stuff for the rest of the year will do really well. So expect a lot of Gorka Morking around here. And those were far from my only pickups during this month, as I tried to scramble around and find things to make content on. And well, here's another little teaser for you. And no, this is not just the box. In the words of Iago, still good. I'll give you a little teaser taste there. Yeah. So we'll be looking at the War Buggy and all of the other super rad old school minis proper that I got my hands on this Orctober. So I am excited about the things that we do have moving forward, especially Orky. Now, non-Orky is where it gets complicated. And I know some of you, especially if you're really new to the channel, are going, what do you mean non-Orky? Like you're an Orc channel. No. We're an Orc focused channel. We are a Warhammer 40K channel. We cover everything. I have 3 gigantic Astra Militarum / Imperial Guard armies. I have a Space Marine army. I used to have a Black Templars army, but I have been piecing it out to selling it. I've got a gigantic Craftworld Eldar army and Imperial agents and a Lost in the Damned. So we like all the 40K stuff around here. Previously, the Grotz have built and painted Necrons. One of them still has a gigantic Tau and Kroot army. Beskrock has his Ultramarines and his Death Guards. We've covered a lot of nerdly things around here. Blueberries, we do it all. And that is the crux of the channel, because the channel is all about having fun with 40K, especially, with your kids, your family, your friends, and saving money by doing cool things like kit bashing. And so we really cover that for everybody. We just lean hardest into the orcs because they're the most fun. But when it comes to the other content, generally, even though Orctober is the culmination of all things Orky, the other months we do focus on all the other armies too. So normally I try to do like a New Year, New Army thing, or we pick one of the armies to work on for a little bit. I haven't been the most successful with that, I will fully admit, but this year I was ready to double down for it. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully I get this all taken care of very early in January, and part of my Physical therapy will be hopping onto that painting wagon, and we'll see what we can do. So if that happens, definitely expect a lot of fun on one of the new armies. In fact, I talked about in the visiting all the FLGS's video that I really want to get the combat patrol for both the Krieg and for the Raven Guard, because the Raven Guard one just works perfectly with my beakies. My Space Marines are all new. They're all the new Primaris, whatever they are, but they're all the sneaky ones. So the infiltrators and the reavers and things like that, and very like tactical and cool. And so I really like leaning into that. And so there's no tabards and knightly things and giant, backpack doohickeys. Not my style. Not my style at all. So it's very different for a beaky army. But yeah, I really want to pick up that combat patrol. It would work perfectly with everything I already own. And then same thing with the Krieg. So those of you that don't know, again, I said I have 3 Imperial Guard armies. I have a very large, old school, all metal Valhallan army, including like the OG Hellhound and stuff like that. That's pretty much all bare metal at this point. I have been working on stripping all of them in order to like get ready to paint them all. I don't know what I'm doing with that yet. To be honest, the bills for this kind of stuff are so high that I'm really having to think about doing some drastic things. And that army is, it's worth a lot of money, and it just kind of lives down there. And even when I'm done with it, it's just going to live in the display case. So I may come to sell that army. I also have a very large Cadian style army. I've built and painted them as Truscan Snowhounds, but they are the old school Cadian sculpts. Figure 3rd edition through, what was it, 8th, when they redid them with the knee pads, so pre-knee pad. But really nicely done. The problem is it's totally illegal. Every single infantry squad is an infantry squad with a heavy weapons team in it. The infantry squads are put together in groups with a command squad and an attached heavy weapons team to make a, not a regiment, what the heck were they? A company. So I've got 2 full companies of infantry, right? So it's for the old school Guard Codex. None of the bases are the right size. None of the weapon loadouts are right. You cannot physically run them as Imperial Guard anymore. And even if you like mixed up all the squads and tried to redo it, there's not enough regular bodies to make squads that work. And then you end up with a ton of special weapons and heavy weapons teams that you can't even take. And again, they're not on the right size bases or anything like that. So it's perfectly legal for 3rd edition through 7th, maybe even 8th edition. But what I'm going to do is that whole army will more than likely end up at Mindtaker Miniatures on a commission to get sold as a completed army, because it is built, painted, based, all that jazz. Almost all of it. I think I've got 3 squads left, and I'm going to work on finishing those eventually. But that's that army. And then I have a Krieg army. So when the Kriegs got announced, Octarius Box, you guys know I love Octarius. I bought 2 of those. I obviously have 2 squads of the Commandos for my Orcs and 2 squads of the Kriegers for me. And then now that they've announced all the new Krieg stuff, I want to keep going with that. So basically all of the vehicles that I could take out of the Cadian regiment and put into the Krieg regiment, I did. But I'd like to really get that combat patrol. I'd really like the battle force too. I don't need quite that many Krieg bodies, I don't think, but getting those bigger weapons would be nice. Getting the engineer team would be nice. All that kind of stuff. So we'll see about the holiday battle force, which brings me into the next thing. Now that we've kind of talked about my armies, the other stuff I like to talk about, one of my best series of all time has always been the holiday battle forces. So every channel reviews the battle forces. Some of them look at, how much money you save and whatnot. I take a very different tact. I assume that you already have the battle force. That's what you got for Squigmas or the holidays, or whatever the case may be. You bought it for yourself. I assume you already have the battle force, and I tell you what to do with it next. Specifically, if you've got the battle force and then the combat patrol, if it works with the combat patrol or not, which is the first thing we go over. But we see how compatible they are together. And then from there, we grow them to a larger army. And so I make recommendations on what to buy to grow the army. And again, not just retail therapy, throwing money at the wall and buying stuff. It's all about like kit bashing and money saving and like, hey, how can you grow this army that you got a great deal on to start with without breaking the bank or without like buying a whole nother battle force or whatever. And I do an individual video for each of the battle forces, and those do fantastic. And I'm absolutely doing those. I will be doing all of that research while I am recovering, and as soon as I'm lucid enough and upright enough to talk, I will be getting those out. So expect 5 days in a row for the 5 battle forces. I don't do the Age of Sigmar ones. I really like Age of Sigmar and the models and the idea of the gameplay. I just don't have the bandwidth for it yet. But, you know, maybe one day when I'm not in school anymore and the Forgrots here aren't driving me quite so crazy with all of their stuff, maybe we can get into AOS too. But we always do the 40K ones. So that will be coming up as well. So again, people that are here watching that aren't just here for orcs, you do actually have something to look forward to in between the battle forces, and then eventually next year with picking one of the armies to paint. And then, you know, again, talking about the evolution of what happens with these armies. We didn't even talk about the Eldar or the Agents of the Imperium or the Lost and the Damned or anything like that yet. And who knows what kind of new armies GW is going to announce and whether or not we do anything with that. You, again, longtime viewers know I am a sucker for Dark Mechanicum. If that army ever gets dropped, I am immediately buying all of it as soon as possible. I think Dark Mechanicum is just awesome. Same thing with like a proper Lost and the Damned army. I'm a huge fan of the Gaunt's Ghosts series and all of that. So doing like a blood pact army where there's not all these Chaos Space Marines and demon engines, like I want cultists. I want masses of cultists to go up against my masses of now Krieg. And yeah, I think that'd be super duper rad. So yeah, again, if you're not here just for orcs, there's a lot coming. And outside of that, honestly, I don't know. I just wanted to get this out there so that everybody knew what was going on, where I was at, what was happening, why the channel is acting so weird, so that you guys know what's happening. If you want to know beforehand, you should join our Discord. The link is in the description below. As always, it is free to join. It's not paywall behind anything. We've got one little section that's for people that are YouTube channel members or patrons. So if you are one of those things, again, extra special thanks to you. You guys are literally helping me keep lights on right now. You can DM me your username, and I will add you to that little members only section. But other than that, the rest of the Discord is entirely free. It is not paywalled, and it is a fantastic place. We have over 600, almost 700 people on there now, and they are active all the time. It is an amazing Discord. We've got an amazing swap shop. So we've got categories so you can buy, sell, and trade anything Warhammer. And then there's a community feedback forum so people can like research you and see like, are you a good trader or whatnot, you know, before doing deals. And then we also have, you can buy, sell, trade anything not Warhammer. So people are doing, you know, some video games and things like that. But yeah, basically kind of anything. You know how crazy Facebook Marketplace and eBay and stuff can be. It just kind of gives you another option to see if you can't move something, or maybe trade some non-Warhammer for some Warhammer, or trade your Warhammer for something else that you want. So those are doing great. We also have a deals section. So you'll see FLGS's post on there, especially like Mind Taker Miniatures when they get some really cool stuff in, or people that just find really good deals online. They post them on there so that, you know, help share the love. Because again, we're all about saving teeth here on this channel. Fantastic sections for all the different 40K armies. There's people in there building Necron armies right now, Death Guard armies, Harlequin armies. You know, again, building, converting, kit bashing, painting, playing with them in tournaments, talking about all that kind of stuff has been really, really fun. So yeah, it's a great community. You should come on over to the Discord. But I do give updates to the Discord members on like what's going on personally and whatnot. And I'm also, that's where I sell my own stuff. So, you know, if I decide to part with this or anything else, orky or non-orky, that's where I've been sticking it up. And again, I sell and I trade and I do all sorts of things. So if you're looking for some previously old Big Mek stuff, you can get on the Discord and purchase it. There's actually a ton listed right now. I still have most of the Black Templar army left. The Grots both still have some things on there that they have sold or trying to sell. And then a bunch of used minis or you know, like I said, partial projects that I got with great intentions, and then yeah, I'm just not gonna do. But yeah, so all of that is on the Discord. In that, I had mentioned the YouTube channel members and the Patreons. If you want to support the channel more than just watching, liking, subscribing, sharing videos, which by all means, that all of that is fantastic and highly appreciated. But if you want to support more, you become a YouTube channel member. You guys know how to do that right here on YouTube. You can click little thingies. I'm going to be doing a lot of live streams in these next 2 months. They were really popular right before I got hurt, and I did a couple right after that did really well. So I think we're gonna lean into that a little bit more, and maybe even come up with like a set day and time for a live stream, like a regular weekly thing. So, and you channel members, you guys get to like post things in the live stream. You can your comments get highlighted, so if it gets like really busy, I'm gonna see your comment before anybody else's and all that kind of stuff. And every once in a while, I do a YouTube members only video, like letting you guys decide what we're doing next, or pick between two things, or maybe pick a paint job on a thing I'm working on or something like that. So there are little perks to it. Those perks also extend to the patrons. So if you'd rather do Patreon than YouTube channel memberships, again, the link is in the description below. You can join. It's only $5 a month. I've got a ton of you that have been with me for years now at this point, and I absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. Again, you'd be shocked, but even that little bit helps keep the lights on, especially in a time like this. So you guys are super awesome, and again, both of you get access to the members only section of the Discord, so make sure you let me know. Outside of that, there's of course our merch store. It's theredonesgofasta.com. You guys should all know it by now. It is linked in the description of every single video we do. The Orctober design right here that we had BenBam do for 2025. We are going to keep this design up through the end of the year. So until I get my brace out, you will be able to get this design. Once the dorsal plate is gone, this will be gone too. So if you want to get some Orctober merch, which is fashionable to wear all year round, make sure you pick it up within the next 2 months, because then we will retire this design, because next Orctober we'll do an entirely new design, and go from there. But you also have all the Red Squid gear, all of our brand new Mordaka gear, the classic Red Ones Go Fasta gear, and everything is made to order. So sizes up to 4XL. I think a few things are even in 5XL. We've got t-shirts, hoodies, kids sizes, ladies cuts, just about any color you want on things, and they make them where you live. So a lot of people ask me this. We do ship worldwide because it is made to order worldwide. So if you live in North America, US, Canada, Mexico, whatever, they'll make it here and ship it to you, and not have to deal with the tariffs and all that jazz. If you live in the EU or the United Kingdom, they'll make it there and ship it to you there. So again, no tariffs, no duties, no fees, other than like whatever the normal stuff is for things that are made like in your country or in your economic zone. And we've sold to over 24 countries already, which is bananas. We even have ability to manufacture in Australia. So Australia, New Zealand, you're covered too. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, check out the web store, check out the stuff, get yourself some merch. They make fantastic presents. We got our new stickers. Let me grab those. I really like these. So this is $10. You get the whole sheet. They are 5 individual stickers, heavy duty outdoor vinyl. So you can put this on your vehicle, your water bottle, whatever the case may be, and it will last a really, really good long time. And you get all the designs. You get the Mordaka, you get the Red Ones Go Fasta, you get the old Big Mek, that one's by Velgarn. You get the Red Squig that I drew, and you get the Orctober. So these are only $10 a piece. A tip that I do have is the stickers are made differently than the shirts. Same thing with like the coffee cups and the water bottle and stuff. No, these are made differently. So if you want to get like a mug or a water bottle with the stickers, like put all that in one order and do it. It'll all ship from one place. And then if you're doing anything embroidered or printed, yeah, these are embroidered hats. Right, super high quality there. It's not an iron-on. It's not just printed. That's embroidered. If you order any of the soft stuff, all this comes from one place at a time, like wherever your region is. So if you put together an order and the shipping seems kind of bizarre, it's probably because you're ordering 2 different kinds of things, and so it's literally shipping from 2 different places. Split it up into 2 orders. It might actually save you a little bit of money. And or a little bit of time, because these guys can work on just the stickers and these guys can work on just the shirts. But yeah, if you guys could do that, the merch store absolutely saved Orctober. Without that, Orctober would have been a total bust. We put a ton of resources into Orctober videos, and it all went down the drain, views wise and ad revenue wise and whatnot. But the merch store stepped up. You guys did amazing. So yeah, do some merch shopping for Squigmas, for friends and family, and get them some really cool The Red Ones Go Faster gear, no matter where you are in the world, and that would super help me out. All right, that's gonna do it for this video. I gotta face the music here sooner or later and get all ready and prepped for that surgery. I will see you guys the next time with that Orctober celebration video. I'll show you everything I did get finished in Orctober and everything you guys got finished in Orctober, and that will be a super duper blast and a lot of fun. And then after that, well, we just spent half an hour talking about it. But probably see you on a live stream, let you guys know how it went before we get back into making regular videos. So this is it, fellas. Till the next time, log on.